You never know. And so last week I talked a little bit about you never know. So I want to continue that conversation because dearly, you never know what's going on with the people in your lives. You can be in the same household, you can be working side by side, you can be business partners, and especially as entrepreneurs, you have so many things that's on your plate. And not only that, you would never know those who are in your same household. And when I say that, I'm really talking about like if you have adults, if there are other adults in your household, even your spouse. But definitely when you're running a business, people in your teams and even in partnerships, you never know and they never know what's going on with you, and you never know what's going on with them. And so in saying that, this is why it's so important for you to work on your traumas, to work on your past, to work on your triggers, to work on all those things so that not only you can be self-aware, and also keep in mind all of those things, it's not that they're a part of you, but they do impact you. And even though unfortunately there are horrible things that could have happened to you, but just know your mind, your body, your spirit, and your heart, it can be renewed. It really can. But in saying all of that, because you never know what's going on with someone and someone else never know what's going on to you, this is why self-care is so important. It's self-care. It's not on your mind, in your spirit. Put it there, and you do it anyway. You do it anyway, but a lot of times we may not be doing enough of, and we need reminders. Even I need reminders. Even it's like, oh yeah, I need to start back doing this or being in communities. But going back, but with, you never know. Because you never know what's going on with others, and others never know what's going on with you. Again, this is why self-care is beyond the luxury. It's doing the hard work. It's sitting in silence, but it's also in asking questions. And the two things in life that impacts all of us, inside and out, on every level in our lives, is our health, that's mentally and physically, and our wealth when it comes to money. And even I grew up, it's like, oh, well, it's not all about the money, and, and definitely in feeling blessed. Let's say when I had a job, just having a job, and especially you get an increase, it's like, oh, I'm just so thankful. No, it's beyond that, because you know why? Because you need money to take care of yourself. And so when people, like if you see something going on with someone, just ask the questions, be curious, show your support. But in order for you to be there for others, you got to be there for yourself. So again, this is why self-care is so important. This is why you plug in. This is why, you listen to not just motivational things and not just inspirational things, but also heartfelt things, but also things that's going to challenge you. But it's not just in listening, because it's not enough to have the knowledge of things. Is to be able to do, to practice, to rehearse, so that you can be and become the person that you want. Because the thing is, even I've experienced this in the sense of, like, I call it's the ideal. You like the ideal of being supportive, but are you truly supportive? And there's nothing bad on you. It's just that sometimes you may not have the energy, you may not have the emotional capacity in order to be there for others, because you're barely being there for yourself. And so this is why, another reason I am such a advocate of self-care, because at the end of the day, of how much, even though we are hardwired for connection, but you know what, maybe we got the wrong connection. It's the connection with yourself. Again, it's like I had said earlier in the theme that when you, even though horrible things can happen, horrible, it's not your fault that horrible things happen, but like I said, it is your responsibility to heal yourself. And so in saying that, in order to be there for others, be there for yourself, fill your cup up. And again, the most important things is your health and your wealth, because you need those things in order to, let's say, pour into your cup. You need money, like, to have a decent place to stay. You know what I'm saying? But to also, like, whatever your movement, your mission is, your ministry is, you need money to support that. And so when you are being a servant to others so that you can get paid in doing this, in doing that, because the thing is, nothing in life is free. I always say nothing in life is free. In a sense, I put it like this, especially if you're trying to get the free thing. And when I say this, just meaning if you're not paying for it, at least, you know what I'm saying? If you are just a receiver and you're not giving, that's what I mean by nothing in life is free. Sometimes it would take monetary, sometimes it may not. But the thing is for you to go deep within yourself so that you can do the work, so you can ask those questions. Because the most important things in life, again, your health and your wealth from the inside out, because you do need some tangible things in order to be healthy. Because you need a decent place, a safe place to stay. But at the same time, if your heart, isn't where you are presently, then you can have $10 million mansion and still won't feel safe. But the thing is that where are you within yourself? Because in order for you to support others, you have to support yourself. You have to do the hard work. You have to go back. Even though they always say, look for it. But one thing that I have seen, because I've experienced it myself, is that it's kind of like of looking for it, of being positive. And honestly, I didn't even think or know that certain things was like an issue. Let's just say growing up without a father. It's like, hey, that's the best thing for me, for him not being in my life. But not realizing the impact of having an absent parent has on you. There's attachment issues. There's, validation issues that's deep within your soul. So just meaning, if you do not purposely work on those things, they will come up and boom, knock you out. Because subconsciously you will be seeking attention and validation and confirmation. You don't know this because it's running in the background. So you see, if you, whether it's your mother, whether it's your father, or whoever it may be that have had an impact in your life or an experience, it's pretty much to go in, pluck it out, so that you can be your authentic self, so you can have the conversations that need to be had, because people are waiting on you. So in order for you to run your business, but it's not only to run your business, to be in your business, but it's for you to be who you are meant to be, without all of the things that got stuck inside of you, that got embedded inside of you. And a lot of these things are unconscious. And so by being an entrepreneur, you are dedicated not just for your mission. Part of your mission is being dedicated to yourself, of making sure that you are well. It's not just a matter of just having a positive, attitude. It's going in, getting that gunk out, but it's sustaining. That means, because there is stuff that's coming your way every day. It's coming your way every day. That stress of just being human, the stress of just, being alive, the stress, especially when you have a movement, when you're on your mission, when you have a ministry, there's so much stress that comes along with that. And so, yes, you continue to do your daily routines, but it's also continue to learn about yourself and to continue to dig. But it's more so is adding, is saturating your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul, so that you can have those conversations, one, with yourself. Because are you having honest conversations about your health and about your wealth, or where you want to be, or where you want to go, but more so what you need to do? Because it's the doing of being. And so make sure that you are in environments so that you can do the work, because you never know where someone is, so that you can have the courage to ask questions, so you can have the courage to be curious, because we can, I want to say, like, I put it like this. What I have seen is that, people will feel bad, because we can feel bad because someone is in a certain situation. And even if you do not have the resource, but you can plant the seed of somebody else's resource. And again, the two things that's really going to help anyone out, and again, people have to dig their own well in order to dig themselves out, whether life puts you somewhere or it's because of your own decisions. And most of the decisions or situations that we're in is because we didn't know. So now you know, and I want you to be comfortable in having conversations about wellness and about wealth, because without those conversations, without planting those seeds, there will never be, I'm going to say this, there's a constant thing of generational wealth and generational trauma. And as you continue to work through yours, and you're planting the seeds as you go along and becoming comfortable, because, it's like, how do you know? How do you know somebody isn't doing well? How do you know where people are financially? And you've been so private in these things. And one thing that I've learned, especially on the financial piece, is almost like, I'm going to say, if you're, being in the working class, we just don't talk about it. It's like there's some shame and there's some guilt too. And I get it. But one thing that I will tell you, once you start to get into rooms where you're able to talk about it, you will talk about it more. And that's one thing that I've said, whatever we don't talk about, we don't talk about it. So that's one of the reasons that I am so loud about talking about self-care. And remember, self-care is mentally, physically, spiritually, as well as financially. We can't leave the finances out, because if you do, that impacts your health as well. And so, how do you know where someone is if you never talk about it? I would just say, plant the seeds. Be comfortable enough to plant the seeds and give people resources. Of course, they're going to do whatever it is they want to do, but at least you can say confidently that you were comfortable. That's one way of using the word comfortable in a good way, that you are comfortable of having conversations. And so one of the ways that you can be comfortable in doing this is going 7 layers deep with Self-Care Is Reflective Journal. It allows you to sit with yourself and to ask yourself a question, whatever it is, that you may want. It's like, what is my next step? You may not get an answer. Sit there, ask again. Sit there and ask again. And almost everything that you do is either working for you or working against you. If it's working for you, it's self-care. If it's working against you, it's not contributing to self-care. So you know that you got this. And again, you never know until you ask. You got to be confident, be courageous, and be comfortable in being curious, because there's a lot of natural consequences by not asking the questions, because health and wealth, they're tied together, and they pretty much impact every aspect of our lives. And so it is about the money. So go ahead and go out there and be great, because you never know who needs your greatness.